Welcome to this special episode of Expansion of Consciousness, where we explore revolutionary ideas that challenge and redefine our understanding of the universe. And today we are privileged to have Tom Paladino join us. Tom's a pioneering scalar energy researcher from Florida who's reshaping how we think about the fundamental forces that animate our world. And the term scalar energy, or what is it? But it's also known as chi prana or 0 point energy. And it's believed to be the life force that flows through all of existence, emanating from celestial bodies like the sun and the stars. Tom's cutting edge theory suggests that this energy is the blueprint of all forms in the universe, guiding everything from spiritual to physical phenomena. As we dive into the depths of scalar energy with Tom, we'll uncover how omnipresent force can potentially revolutionize healing, energy consumption, and our own very understanding of physics. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for the invitation. Thanks, Jason.
No problem, no problem. And this is an awesome, I'm going to get us set up here. This is an awesome work that you've been performing, and I'm just excited that you're here to give us an understanding. Can you explain how scalar energy can be harnessed through something as simple as a photograph?
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Okay. Everything is energy, as you've heard the expression, including a photograph. Well, I've discovered with scalar energy instruments that I can access the code or the signature on a photograph. This is my photograph. It has my scalar energy signature. Now, I work with scalar energy instruments. I don't work with electrical instruments. So what is peculiar to my work is it's all scalar. A scalar energy force field is found on a photograph, and a scalar light instrument that I have behind me can identify the code. In other words, I bilocate by way of my photograph. There's the physical Tom, and then there is the energetic Tom that I find on a photograph.
That is awesome. And I'm just wondering, how did you get involved with scalar technology and scalar energy? How did this all start for you?
It started when I was a youngster. I was reading about Nikola Tesla, who was the first man to understand, control, and engineer scalar light instruments. So I appreciated what Tesla had achieved, and I realized he was onto a grand idea. And the grand idea is scalar energy, this non-physical energy that is not electricity, this non-physical energy from the sun and the stars that offers great prospect to humanity.
How can this method be applied, universally, like regardless of geographical location?
Good point. So this energy is from the sun and the stars. It blankets the universe. So scalar energy is an omnipresence. Some people call that the matrix or the Akashic record. I call it the all-seeing eye. So when you have this energy, you're not looking at a local environment. It's non-local, so to speak. It's omnipresence. Others might call it consciousness. Well, consciousness pervades the universe.
Yes, it does.
This is what I've experienced with scalar energy. Scalar energy is consciousness. It's everywhere. So you don't necessarily tap into it through an electrical current, or you don't tap into it through a windmill. You tap into it from the sun and the stars, meaning it's energy that is omnipresent. You don't create the energy, you just harness it.
It's something like Reiki energy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with energy, but Reiki energy or beams of energy that are coming to the earth naturally, and we just tap into it.
Yeah.
Scalar. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's the same. This is the natural energy of the sun and the stars. People have healing hands. What is that? Well, that's scalar light. That's scalar energy healing hands. Some people can heal by word, by influence. Some people can heal by prayer. All of this is a non-physical energy, scalar energy. It's not electricity. There's no electrons. So this is the realm of consciousness, of non-physical healing.
Wow. It seems that by transcending physical and spatial boundaries, energy could fundamentally change our approach to energy interaction. It's just a fascinating concept, and it's such an advanced concept form of energy. Wow, it's
Thank you, Jason.
This is awesome.
To drive home this point, this is my physical being. This is the physical level. Okay, when we realize that, I'm speaking about the level of blueprint, intelligence, the non-physical level. Why? The blueprint dictates the physical. The non-physical, the instructions dictate the physical world around us. Meaning what? The physical universe only represents 0.0001% of the universe. If you look at the galaxies, for the most part, it's space. 99.999% of the universe is space, open space. Why? That's the energy grid. That's the scalar energy that exists. If you will, the physical manifestation, that's the caboose. That's the end of the line.
Well, I mean, incredible. I just want to know, why do you believe that light healing represents the future of therapeutic practices? And tell me how scalar energy plays a crucial role in this evolution.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, I'm working with light. Light is fundamental. The only concept in the universe that's fundamental is light, energy. Nothing else is fundamental. So if you want to have control, command over the universe, you do it through light. Light is supreme. It's at the top. And creation then is made possible from that light. Okay. So I work with scalar light instruments. This is an instrument behind me to demonstrate. This instrument is broadcasting. Those Tesla coils are pulsing energy. If I were to hold a light bulb close to that Tesla coil, it would illuminate a light bulb. Pulsing energy. Now, that is, if you will, a miniature star. And when I work with this, if you will, this matrix, if I work with that consciousness, I now access into a different dimension of non-physical consciousness. Okay? Right. And if I can introduce my photograph into that force field, now my photographic force field, my non-physical being, if you will, my aura, is now enjoying a scalar energy environment. Regardless of where I live, that doesn't matter. I don't work with the physical Tom. I don't work with people. I work with their aura or their force field. I don't work at the physical chemical level. I work at the higher level of intelligence, of consciousness. My photograph carries my signature. Regardless of who I am, where I live, of my genetic background, it doesn't matter. I access a person's energy field through their photograph. Hence, the photograph transcends time and space. I could work with one person a day, or I could work with 1 million photographs a day.
Wow. It's remarkable, absolutely remarkable to think about the potential shift in the healing practices, using scalar energy at the forefront of this whole thing, bringing that ancient wisdom and cutting edge technology is it's truly incredible. This type of integration could potentially lead to a new paradigm in how we approach and how we understand human health. I mean, what do you think about that?
We've already started. Why? Because we're no longer at the brick and mortar level, the level of chemical dependency. I don't work at the chemical level. I work at the level of intelligence. I'd much rather work at the level of intelligence or aura than have to work at the physical body. So to be clear, this is a new branch of physics. This is not electricity. It's not magnetism. This new branch of physics allows us to access the information of the universe. The energy itself is that information. So there's no human reasoning. I'm going to show the audience. This is a scalar wave that's been photographed by time-lapse photography.
Wow.
Take a good look. It's a double helix. That's a Tesla coil, and it produced this double helix. Now take a good look at that. What does that look like to you?
Looks like our DNA. Yeah.
So what's the point? A scalar wave creates our DNA. If you've ever wondered what is DNA, it's a standing scalar wave. The double helix scalar energy from the sun and the stars produces our DNA, or all genomic forms. We are scalar light. We are scalar energy. Our DNA, how is that intricate design? What holds together that double helix? The ratio and proportion of a scalar wave is identical to our BDNA, our human DNA. Is that an accident? No. We are a standing scalar wave. This is the blueprint of our DNA.
And given that we are made of light and sound and energy, one would definitely understand that. But I want to ask you, given the current global energy crisis, how do you envision scalar energy providing an unlimited source of power?
Okay. So if I can take one light bulb and illuminate it with this instrument. Now, this is free energy. I don't need a satellite. I can illuminate a light bulb. Why can't I eventually illuminate a 1,000, a million, a billion photographs? To a billion light bulbs? I can. I'm just waiting for God to give me the wisdom to take this energy and multiply it a millionfold. If I can take this energy and, if you will, amplify it a millionfold, then I don't need a grid system to deliver it. Okay? It's free energy with a free grid system. As soon as I can amplify this energy, I can illuminate a city without the need of satellites, without the need of an electrical wiring, without the need of a substation. It's free energy with a free infrastructure. As Nikola Tesla said, the ether is the medium. It's the medium of the universe. I'm tapping into the ether with this.
Wow. I mean, just envisioning a world where energy is both limitless and clean is incredibly inspiring. I mean, those steps that you mentioned for transitioning this scalar energy, very pivotal. I mean, to anything that we want. But our government understands this technology. They don't want to use it though, because we're in a capitalistic society. What do you say to that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Nikola Tesla tried to introduce this to the world. It was free energy back then. It's still free energy today. What's the point? Free energy changes the social order. Free energy upsets the military-industrial complex. This changes everything. This makes, free energy clean of our problems. And sadly, the one world order doesn't want to solve problems.
Right.
No.
Wow. I mean, you discussed the singular source of all light and energy in the universe. Could you elaborate on this concept and the significance to both science and the spiritual communities?
Yeah. Well, let's look through our telescope when we're looking in outer space. And what do we see? Stars.
Yes.
And more stars. That's where the energy comes from, the star. Powering, what gives power to a star? I don't believe it's electricity. Some people say it's some type of thermonuclear reaction. I think that's absolute nonsense. In order to have perpetual energy for the stars, you need a perpetual source, which is scalar energy. Electricity and magnetism experiences entropy. There's no way electricity and magnetism could power the stars. It's foolish. We have billions of galaxies. We would have run out of electricity and magnetism a long time ago. That's foolish. You need a perpetual source of energy. Only scalar energy can explain the universe.
And you mentioned, I want to back a little bit, Nikola Tesla. Can you share how Tesla's work initially inspired your research into scalar, and what specific aspects of Tesla's theories or experiments directed your focus towards this type of energy?
Yeah. When I read about Nikola Tesla and what he was doing in 1899 in Colorado Springs, how Tesla could produce lightning, artificial lightning, how Tesla could illuminate light bulbs at a distance without wires, how Tesla, once he was working with these instruments in Colorado Springs, and he said his co-workers felt a feeling of elation when they were around this instrument, the Scalar Energy Tower in Colorado Springs. All of that calls to mind a different type of energy. Electricity does not behave that way. So Tesla was the first person who could harness scalar energy. His 1899 experiments in Colorado Springs were a sea change for me, a sea change in scientific discovery. To this day, people don't quite get that. Tesla, later in his life, was working almost exclusively with scalar light, scalar energy. He was no longer interested in electricity. So if you really look closely at Tesla's life, it ended with this, if you will, this afflatus that he had, that free energy, scalar energy was the future.
Wow. And we all know Tesla's work was groundbreaking, and it laid a foundation for this type of future explorations of scalar energy. And that's absolutely amazing that you can pick this up in the modern day time and continue the research. Can you tell me in what ways your work is an extension of Tesla's original version about energy?
Tesla never worked with quantum health. That's what I'm concentrating on right now. Mm-hmm. So let me explain to your audience.
I thought he created some sort of machine that he never got the patent for.
That's correct. I understand there was many therapeutic uses for his instruments, but he never followed up, or at least we never hear about it, because I think that in and of itself was suppressed. Most of his work was suppressed. So what's never come to light is Tesla's work. There's another inventor by the name of Hieronymus that I follow, and Hieronymus had greater success in showing that by working with a person's photograph, somehow their health could improve. Mm-hmm. I'll explain this. If I place my photograph in that instrument, it enjoys a quantum field. It enjoys an energy field. Now, the amount of energy going into that light bulb is identical energy going into my brain waves. Mm-hmm. Because the photograph is me. I am the photograph is me. The photograph is my bilocated version. So my force field, my 7 chakras are going to be animated with this Tesla coil. If I can animate a light bulb, then why can't I animate my chakras? That's what I do. That's one of the experiences that I have, if you will, many times been able to prove, to demonstrate. And people tell me after I work with their photograph, they feel their chakras have been balanced. They feel this feeling of elation. They're happy. Okay. So there seems to be some merit, some cause and effect relationship here. How do we describe that by Newtonian physics? You can't. This is a new branch of physics. You cannot use the existing electromagnetic theory to explain how scalar energy operates. Electromagnetic energy is not scalar energy. So what is the point? This is a new science in which we have to look at it with a new viewpoint, with principles that govern scalar energy that are distinct from that of electricity.
Tesla's vision, I mean, it continues to influence and expand within this entire modern energy research, just creating new pathways that he probably imagined. And I want to second that. I'm a galactic energy healer, level 3. And it's something similar to Reiki where we do energy healing, but we channel patterns from different dimensions and we push them towards the screen. We're working with people that are online, long distances. And this just seems to be sort of the same concept what you're speaking of right now. And just like when people go online to do Reiki sessions, this energy that they're moving towards the chakra to see which one of the wheels are not turning within the chakra system, we're pushing this energy to promote healing. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's I agree with that. So when people are working, whether it's by prayer or meditation, you're right. Everybody has 7 chakras. And you can either influence those chakras by prayer, meditation, by by a walk in nature, or you could do that through a scalar energy instrument. To be very clear, I believe the mind and the heart are powered and amplified by scalar energy. So you don't necessarily need an instrument. By prayer, by proper disposition, you can influence your 7 chakras. People do that every day.
Well, Tesla, he actually believed that there's the possibility of free wireless energy for everyone. How does your belief align with your scalar energy research and the development goals?
Yeah. Again, if I can illuminate a light bulb in my hand, eventually I should be able to take that energy and broadcast it 1,000 miles away and illuminate 1,000,000 light bulbs. And I believe I will be able to do that if God gives me the wisdom. Key is this: we're not working with a stream of electrons. This is not AC electricity. No electrons are involved. So we don't have an encumbrance of any type of electron or any type of electrical signal. We simply are working in a different energy spectrum where energy's everywhere. And you only have to utilize it and amplify it. In so doing, you have energy, if you will, instantaneous energy production. So this will remove all encumbrances of motors, of power stations, of amplification and distribution. That's where we're going with this.
And that's inspiring. Just the broader implications of this global energy solution.
It will change the world. Scalar energy will solve our problems.
Wow. So Tesla's research was often considered really ahead of his time, and like something bordering like the mystical,
Yes.
the woo-woo. How do you balance the scientific with the speculative in your scalar energy research?
That's a great question. So I think big, and I've got grand ideas, but at the end of the day, they have to be applicable. At the end of the day, I have to be in my laboratory working with an instrument, and I have to duplicate Tesla's work, or I have to, if you will, forge ahead with this virgin territory, and I have to demonstrate time and time again that this works. So it's great to think big. It's great to think grand thoughts, but you also have to follow it up. In practice, it's work. This has been work. This make no distinction here. This is work. If you don't have a work ethic, don't take up invention.
I'm sure balancing the aspects you're speaking of requires a pretty delicate touch, and like you said, it's rigors to this. It's levels to scientific methodology, but if one remains open to a broader, perhaps unconventional methods, and then the possibilities are endless.
You're right. The possibilities are endless. Why? Imagine people, free energy from the sun and the stars. You don't need wires. You don't need transformers. You don't need satellites. For instance, when I work with people, thousands of photographs, I don't rely upon cell phone towers or satellites. I simply access their energy field. Whether it's 1,000 or 1,000,000 photographs, I can work with one instrument. That one instrument transcends time and space because scalar energy, there's no encumbrance. So if we're looking at electromagnetic energy, you have to have a delivery system. You have to produce the energy, then you have to distribute it. It's very expensive. It's very laborious. This one instrument can work with 10 million photographs a day. That's free energy without the grid system.
So we continue to evolve as a civilization. And if we're not even a type 1 civilization yet, let alone type 2. So if we're ever going to evolve into a type 1 civilization, shouldn't we have to understand how to harness this energy? This energy is not going to cause. We have to harness this energy from the sun. What do you say to that aspiration at some point in the future?
You're absolutely right. What's holding us back is this grid system. What's holding us back is this military-industrial mindset.
Correct.
We need to those are shackles. We need to remove those handcuffs. Okay? There's a reason why we're shackled. That's old technology, and we're never going to advance. Imagine the trillions of dollars that's spent on energy production and how dangerous it is. When you could do this at pennies out on the dollar, that does not produce any chemical reaction. There is no CO2 emission. This is free, clean energy. Now, when we can save trillions of dollars and put those trillions of dollars back into productivity and not consume the energy, but have very inexpensive energy so we can produce more goods and services, that's a win-win for everybody. We consume trillions of dollars worth of fuel every year, and it's expensive and it's dangerous and it pollutes. Scalar energy removes that paradigm. Scalar energy is free. There is no pollution, and it's pennies on the dollars in operation. This type of technology will advance mankind.
Yeah, and I'm just a Tesla nut, and I know there are a lot of people out there that are as well. Can you discuss a particular instance where a Tesla-inspired idea possibly directly influenced a breakthrough in your scalar energy experiment?
Yeah. When I was when I was a youngster, this is over 50 years ago, reading about Tesla, he inspired me. And that set my course. He was my, if you will, my pole star back then. I said to myself, how am I going to change the world? How can I impact the world? I looked at Tesla and I said, nobody, not any scientist, nobody except Tesla has impacted the world as much as Nikola Tesla. So I said to myself, this is kind of a no-brainer. You just follow up on Tesla's work. And in some way, I'm trying to follow up on his work. He was right. Tesla was the genius of geniuses. If we follow his lead, we will go into this new era with great prosperity.
Let's just take a deep dive. I have more questions to ask you, but what was Nikola Tesla? I know he was a human, but
Yeah.
was he able to channel? Was he able to download? Did he understand that if he raised his vibration, his frequency, he was able to get certain information? How was he able to harness all of this information?
Here's the key with Tesla. He said this many times. At night, he would lay awake and he would have flashes of light. Tesla would experience flashes of light. Those are intellectual visions. Those are from God. And Tesla was shown in his mind flashes of light, inventions, schematics, what he needed to do. God would download, give him an afflatus, call it flashes of light, call it what you will. Tesla did not have to think. There's no deduction. God gave him the wisdom. Some people call that infused knowledge. That's mysticism. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, for one man to invent as much as Tesla did, to have such a, if you will, colorful career, to be able to do what he's accomplished, why? How was this possible with one man? Because he received the knowledge, infused wisdom from God. Nobody, not one scientist has ever matched him. Nobody's come close.
It appears he was chosen, in our subconscious mind, our higher self, they were able to move information. It's just like looking at a past life. They're able to move information into the subconscious mind for who they deem it to be for.
Yes.
And we talk about that a lot on this show. And I know you're energy driven, but I know that behind all of the experiments that you understand the higher self, the subconscious mind, and how you can raise your vibration as a human in Christ consciousness, where
Yes.
all these ideas are already there. They're
Yes.
already there. You just need to raise your vibration and your frequency to that level.
And that's what Tesla did. He raised his consciousness and God gave him the wisdom. God wants to give the wisdom. But to be very clear, I don't think if Tesla was an evil man, I don't think he would then have the genius that he is, because God is not going to give his wisdom to evil. Tesla tried to help mankind. He was a true humanitarian. And as an example of his incredible intellect, he was not only intelligent, but he had morals. He had standards. And that's the real sign of an inventor. Great morality must be matched with hand in hand with great technology and vice versa. The two go hand in hand. Tesla accomplished both.
And I read somewhere where he did not want his research to be used for weapons.
Yes,
Right? But he knew the government wanted his work for weapons.
Yes, God bless him. And that's why God stopped his career, or why government intervened. Had the government gained hold of some of his technology, it could have been devastating to the world. And so, in many ways, again, this is guarded technology. In many ways, I look at my work and I'm saying to myself, how far will God allow this to advance?
Wow. Tom, looking towards the future, how do you envision continuing Tesla's legacy? And I know you have your own legacy as well, but within your advancements in scalar energy.
Well, I can speak for myself.
Yes.
I want to leave a legacy, and I want people to look at my results. Now, sadly, I don't have anybody who's shown any interest to spend a career at this, and for various reasons. So I'm trying to document as much as I can. I'm trying to demonstrate as much as I can what I've been successful with, and to leave that legacy. I'm 64 years of age. Anybody who's going to follow in the footsteps, of this scalar energy research, you have to devote your career to not a hobby. You will not accomplish much if you only spend a little bit of time at this. This takes it all. This is an emerging science. You're not going to learn it in short order. And the victories will come, but they're painstaking. This is difficult. This is hard work.
Yes. Right. And I understand that. And anything at that level of magnitude, it's definitely something that a person would have to really, really work at and stay committed to. So I definitely get that. And it's just so fascinating. Let's talk more about scalar energy and the way it can help a person's health.
Yeah. Okay. So everything I do is through this matrix, through this energy, without human thought, okay, without human intention. I'm going to hold up a photograph of the herpes virus.
Okay.
It has Christ consciousness. It has a signal. Then I'm going to hold up my photograph side by side, the herpes virus. The instrument, the energy, will look for the intelligence, the signal of herpes in me. These two photographs will communicate in the quantum realm by way of Christ consciousness. If I had the herpes virus, that energy of herpes would be detected on my quantum field in my photograph. So I never work at the chemical level. I work at the level of intelligence by placing my photograph inside the instrument with the herpes virus. If I had the herpes virus, the instrument would identify the herpes virus and bring it to a state of chaos in the energetic realm. That's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about the physical realm. You worry about the realm, you work opposite that at the realm of intelligence. Now, after I do this for myself or other people, the people that I work with through their photograph, the people tell me, Tom, whatever you did, I no longer have symptoms of herpes. And my theory is very simple. If I can identify the signal of herpes and nullify it or bring it to a state of chaos, then not only will it be reduced to a state of chaos, but so will, in many ways, concomitantly, the symptoms. So we don't worry about the chemical. We always concentrate on the blueprint, on the energetic side.
So often I've heard this. I'm a quantum healing hypnotist. I've learned from the Dolores Cannon School of Quantum Healing Hypnosis. So when we have our patients regress past the theta brainwave state in the sambulistic state, and we are able to access the higher self, one of the things that I've heard before in a session with a client that had cancer, Tom, and as I directed or spoke with the higher self of this client, I said, well, how are you going to rid the body of the cancer? This is the question to the person who's in this deep, deep state. And the response was, we're going to use light. Like, we're going to use light to heal it. And I said, light? Well, what is light going to do? And then the person responded to me, light heals. Light is everything.
Yes.
What is your response to that?
Absolutely. Why? It's the blueprint. It's the cause. Again, what's the one cause in nature? What is fundamental in nature? Light, energy. The only thing that's fundamental is light. Nothing else is fundamental. So the cause, light, dictates the instructions for nature. Creation follows. We are in the driver's seat. When we're working with scalar energy, this is the driving seat. This is the driver's seat of the universe, light energy. All light initiates as scalar energy. Electricity and magnetism are derivative, the secondary energy of scalar energy. The first cause, the prime mover, is scalar energy for all activity.
So when we talk about scalar energy, and let's just say let's hypothetically say you're working with an athlete who has a torn meniscus.
Right.
And you have a picture of this athlete and you have his x-ray, a picture of his x-ray, and he's a torn meniscus. What are the steps? And I know that you want people to follow and sign up, but what are some of the theoretical steps on how you can heal this person, and how long does it take?
Okay, well, I'll use my example. With the Christ energy, I had a bad back. I had a muscle sprain. And within, I would say, a little bit over a month, I reduced my muscle strain, my back pain, probably at least to the order of 50, 60% with this type of corrective healing. Now, bear in mind, it wasn't an instantaneous healing. Okay, I'm speaking from my experience with this new process I developed. So my back pain reduced at least by half, to the point I have great mobility now. But it took a little bit over a month. So can I project that on other people? Well, maybe. It's hard to say. I will say that scalar energy, when applied appropriately, is going to help most people. I can't make any predictions. Everybody's unique.
Wow. I mean, just amazing on how you're able to use this technology. And just to think about the complexity of the universe is both humbling and enlightening. This is amazing work. Tom, can you tell people how to get online to find you? What exactly are you offering? What kind of programs can they join? Can they be coached to do this? Can you talk to the audience about everything that you do and how you do it so they can find you?
Thank you. I think it's important that I offer free sessions, which I do. This has never been done before. So how do I introduce this to the world? I give away 15 days of free sessions. Anybody in the world can email us. That's all we do. We don't send a snail mail. Email us a photograph on our website, scalarlight.com. We'll work with you. We can work with family members. You can include your pets. The instruments can work with thousands, hundreds of thousands of photographs a day. And when you email us your photograph, we're going to identify and eliminate microbes. You also have a third modality, really quick. I can take photographs of nutrients and download the energy of those nutrients into the quantum field. So the 15-day program includes a chakra balancing, the ability to identify microbes and toxins and negate them, and then the third modality, we energetically deliver nutrients all through the photograph, which is the quantum realm, or the non-physical, if you will, blueprint.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. This is I understand it, and I know the audience will, because I have a number of Reiki healers and energy healers. This is a different type of energy healing. It's in the same wheelhouse, but it's much more profound in its approach. And I'm just looking at some of the excellent work you've done. I have another question for you, and I should have asked it before, but I wanted to make sure that the audience understood how to contact you, and we'll come back to that. However, this scalar energy, this light energy, does it affect the DNA? Can it affect the DNA? And in relation to what happened with the solar eclipse, this energy that's coming from the solar eclipse, how do you reckon both of those? Because a number of mysticists say that the solar eclipse energy, no, it's not changing who we are. It's not changing our DNA. It's activating something in the DNA. What do you say to this?
I don't know. I don't have evidence of that. But any type of eclipse needs to be noted. Why did that happen? Yes. An eclipse is in many ways predicting the future. Can I predict that? No, but any celestial body predicts the future. Why do I say that? Scalar energy is the cause of time. If you look at a scalar wave, it rotates in one direction, bringing forward time. Time is caused by a flow of energy, scalar energy. When you rotate a scalar energy wave in one direction, time moves forward. Reverse that direction, time moves backwards. Now, the fact that the stars have a uniform movement of scalar energy, then time moves forward in a uniform fashion. So the stars predict in them the future through this rotation of time, this rotation of energy. Time is a flow of energy. Specifically, time is a flow of scalar energy. So if we look at all the stars in combination, they predict, if you will, they're showing us time as it unfolds. It's a flow of time. It's a flow of energy.
I'm sold. I'm gonna be one of the people that will join this 15-day course, and I implore my audience, the people who follow expansion of consciousness, to actually join to see what it's all about. And I want to ask you this, Tom. What's new? What do you have new? I know that you're using this technology for healing. What are some of the new
Okay.
projects that you figured out that Scalar
Okay.
Energy can do as well?
Okay, I want people to pray upon this. And I'm not making any predictions. Recently, I've been receiving messages from the Blessed Virgin Mary, and she told me how to increase and amplify the energy. So I've increased the scalar wave. I've made it, say, a greater concentration to focus it to greater ability. And what I've been promised is long-standing implications. What the Blessed Mother said, it would be all-encompassing healing. All-encompassing healing. Now, I can't predict that, but these are the messages I've received this past winter. So I'm now presenting to the world this new and enhanced program. We'll see where this goes.
Predicting things and receiving messages, that's what the expansion of consciousness is all about. But, you know, as our consciousness grows, as our awareness becomes more prevalent, as we understand how to tune into ourselves and be still, be quiet, and understand the difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, you can begin to understand these messages that you're receiving. And certainly you've figured out a way to tune in and to receive things that you need to continue your work. And I just want to thank you for coming on today and being a part of the expansion of consciousness. Do you have any last words, any words of encouragement, enlightenment for the audience before we wrap this thing up?
My common sense encouragement is this. Think of a scalar wave. A scalar wave. It's a brain wave. Every time you think, it's a scalar wave. Every time you feel, your heart is a scalar vessel. Your mind, your heart are scalar vessels. I mean every word of that. Thinking and feeling transcend time and space. A scalar wave transcends time and space. Thinking and feeling, okay, are that Christ consciousness. Scalar energy is that Christ consciousness. Everybody is capable of scalar energy. This is not a nebulous topic. This should be common. We should make this a common topic. Thinking and feeling are scalar energy waves. Everybody is a scalar energy expert, whether you realize it or not. So the way you think, the way you feel is the world that you dictate, is the world that you inherit.
And be careful with your thoughts, because whatever you think will happen. And the thought is moving at the speed of light into Christ consciousness, creating new reality. Tom, thank you so much for coming on the expansion of consciousness. Hold on for 1 second. I'm going to say some few nice things about you. You don't want to miss it, but we appreciate you. Can you give the website one more time?
Scalarlight.com. Please prove it to yourself. Sign up for the 15-day free session.
Awesome. Awesome. Stay right there, Tom. I'll be right back to you. Wow. Incredible. But we've had experts, we've had energy healers on the show before with similar concepts, but nothing this informative at the scientific level and also at the spiritual level that Tom works in. I just want to thank you for tuning in today. What an enlightening discussion with Tom Paladino on the expansive potential of scalar energy. And ladies and gentlemen, if today's conversation sparked a curiosity in you to explore the unseen energies that underpin this universe, our universe, we encourage you to further engage Tom. Go to the website, whether you're a scientist, a spiritual seeker, or simply someone intrigued by the mysteries of the cosmos. Scalar energy presents a frontier worth exploring, and consider diving deeper into the research. I mean, do your research and the teachings of pioneers like Nikola Tesla, who I love, and Tom Paladino, who's my new Nikola Tesla. He's living, actually, so I know this guy. But we got to understand how these energies might shape our future. So visit our website, follow us on our social media channel, and join a community of forward thinkers pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And let's continue to explore this journey together, exploring the harnesses, how to harness the power of the universe to create a brighter and more sustainable world. And people, remember the possibilities. The possibilities are limitless as the energy that surrounds us. And we use this energy every day. But until the next time, keep expanding your consciousness and exploring the infinite. Thank you very much. The show notes would be at the bottom of the screen. Find Tom and sign up for his program. And remember these 3 words: trust, relax, and discover. Thank you.